I believe the film's tagline, "Look Up," surmises my opinions on the official kickstart to James Gunn's DCU. The film provides a lot to look up to, but not without reminding us, and hopefully Gunn himself, of how high the bar has to be for the superhero of all superheroes, Superman. To speak briefly of the cast, I believe everyone makes the most of what they are given, and there is a dedication seen through everyone to make every piece fit together, even if Gunn has forced unnecessary and distracting pieces into their hands. David Corenswet nails it as Superman for me, and his character as a whole was represented in a magical way. The Man of Steel with a heart of gold, an alien more human than any of us, a beacon of hope not because of his powers, but because of his humanity. Superman has never quite gripped me the same way Batman and particularly Spider-Man have over and over again, but this greater focus on the emotional backbone of this character as opposed to the enormity of his powers was refreshing and exactly what I was hoping for from this character. There are some other standouts within this cast as well. Rachel Brosnahan seems almost born to be Lois Lane and nails the facts over feelings work ethic incredibly well. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was a huge surprise and easily became a fan favorite of mine due to how well Gunn's signature humor works with his character. To shift focus slightly to the Justice Gang, Mr. Terrific, for me, stole every scene he was in, while Hawkgirl was, without a doubt, the weakest character in this movie, achieving literally nothing throughout the film, both in regards to the plot and her character. I can't remember a single line her character says beyond her irritating screaming, which I mean is no disrespect to Isabella Merced. Again, everyone makes the most of what they are given. And this couldn't be truer for Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, who nails that cunning, always one step ahead intelligence that's always one step away from a rage-induced disaster that Luthor is defined by. The problem here is one that haunts most corners of this film. Whilst I praise Guy Gardner for utilizing Gunn's distinctive humor, he is certainly not the only vessel for it. Gunn's humor is everywhere, and in almost every scene, and while it may work for groups of nutjobs and psychopaths like the Guardians or the Suicide Squad, it simply feels so out of place in so many scenes here. The humor does land occasionally, and it's great as ever when it does. But when it fails, it brings everything down with it, tarnishing emotional moments or delaying the film from continuing until the joke is finished. A prime example that doesn't spoil anything would be at the very beginning of the film, where Superman is about to head into a very important battle, but he and the audience must wait until Krypto, who is otherwise a true highlight of the film, finishes playfully biting his cape and boots while Superman awkwardly and unsuccessfully scolds him. Gunn has proven himself so capable of presenting truly powerful and emotional moments that understand and present the most obvious emotions in the most powerful and profound of ways. Yet, it is as though he lacks confidence in his own abilities to be emotional so much that he seems to hide behind this blanket of comedy where he feels far more comfortable, and it's a blanket that far too often suffocates the film. Visually speaking, the film has some truly jaw-dropping moments of beauty, whereas other times the film falls flat with some odd camera work and really awkward CGI that is technically well constructed, but the blending between the actors' performances and the CGI elements just shatters the illusion. A scene where Lex is casually walking as buzzsaws and metal flies past his face is trying way too hard to look badass, but simply just comes across as a little goofy looking. It is far from the worst we have seen in superhero films, especially lately, but it's far from perfect. The action itself is gripping, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before, even in other Superman movies and television shows. Ironically, some of the best action in the film often has nothing to do with Superman. But don't let that fuel the theory that this is a movie far too busy to be a Superman movie. It truly is a Superman movie throughout and at its core. The film tampers with a pretty significant element of Superman's canon origin, and it will certainly divide fans. But for the most part, I believe it works, and gives far more agency to Superman himself as opposed to being defined by that particular element of his past that I won't spoil. The third act is messily set up via an awkward technology that is so casually used and introduced, despite being unbelievably advanced and weirdly out of place in the movie, despite how crucial it is to the plot. Despite this, the final act is the film's standout, not for its action, not for its stakes, but for its heart. I'm not ashamed to admit that I shed a tear during a moment in the film where Gunn finally stops hiding within his blanket of comedy, and it just feels so raw and touching, as though it was improvised straight from the frustration of the moment. And for me, it really sets in stone where my admirations for Superman and what, at his core, he represents, are founded. Overall, there are some misplaced pieces here, and others that don't belong at all. But Superman reboots the DC universe in a convincing and exciting way, showing a genuine care and understanding of the character. The film may give us far too much to laugh at, but it also gives us plenty to smile at, and the smile beaming across my face as the credits rolled was pure, beautiful, and full of hope.